So this video that you just watched was filmed back in the beginning of March 2020, right before the pandemic, when me and my mom were in Oslo, Norway, and we were on this boat trip, beautiful boat trip, through the fjords, I think that's what you call them, of Oslo, which are these places where these really pretty tiny houses were built near the ocean. And I went there for my 15th birthday. I even have this snow globe as a memory. There are a lot of monuments and famous buildings there. It's so pretty. I love it so much. And so there, during this boat trip, this picture was taken, and it turned into this picture, which is the cover for my new single saudade, which is out right now on all platforms. There's even a lyric video for it that I did here in my YouTube channel, and I hope you really like it. So I wanted to talk about the story behind it, how I wrote it, why I wrote it, and the meaning. I'm not gonna get into too many details because it is not the right time for it yet. It is a small part of a huge story that I've been writing for years now, like ever since I was 13 years old or something. But I'm gonna talk about how I started writing it. So it was September of 2021. I had just released my debut single, gentil colapso de órbitas, which you can watch the music video for. It is very special and professionally done, and I was really excited about it. I just loved the whole ambience, and I wanted to make more music that sounded similar to it. And so I started writing this little chord progression on the guitar. I was so proud of it. I'm still so proud of this beginning of the song. It's so pretty. I love it so much. And then a few weeks passed, and I was able to come up with some lyrics. Burn scars between old wrinkles, and a cold breeze that dries up her fingers as she plays near Karl Johans Gate on a boat he built with her name on it. Just by this beginning, you can tell that I was trying to write a song that was inspired by my trip to Oslo, Norway. Karl Johans Gate, if you don't know, is the main street of Oslo. It is a very long and narrow street that takes to a lot of different and famous places in Oslo. There's the Opera House, the City Hall, the theater, if I'm not wrong, and the ocean is close to it, a huge pier also. And me and my mother, when we went there, we stayed at this hotel that was really, really close to it. And so we would go there every single day of the trip, and it was so magical and became a really familiar and comfort place. And you have to try to imagine the picture that I'm showing while writing these lyrics. It's pretty much a person looking at the ocean of Oslo near Karl Johans Gate, and she's seeing this woman with burn scars on her body, and she's on this boat that has her name on it, and she's playing, writing, singing songs that talk about her life. And it is basically a way for her to tell the world how she was able to recover from some very difficult situations that involve grief, addictions, and hardships. And it is not at all based on my personal life. It is more based on principles and things that matter a lot to me, that I think make a lot of sense to me, even though don't have a lot to do with my own testimony. But anyway, so this girl, this woman that you see playing, is Son's daughter. She's the main character of the story. You met her in the music video that I did for gentil colapso de órbitas. And so this song in particular talks about how she is finally healing from her past, from things that happened in her past that have a lot to do with grief mainly, and how she can transform this healing into a beautiful thing for the world to hear, to be used as a method of healing for other people that are going through this kind of stuff too. The song also talks about forgiveness. You can tell that by the last few sentences. Oh God, how come forgiveness didn't leave her drained? And this specific part, I didn't know if it was going to be the end. I didn't know if it was going to be like empty. When I came back to it 3 years later, I decided to add some other sentences in this part. Now I am free to love the ones who left me behind. Now I am free to honor them and take off their blind, which is sung from this woman's perspective about how when you are healed from things that hurt you and when you can forgive the people that hurt you, you can now not only move on from them, you can also help them overcome what they did. You can also honor them and love them because you're not trapped anymore by what they did to you. And of course, this isn't saying that you have to live with this person, that you have to become best friends with them, but it means that you don't have remorse or hatred towards them. And if they do ask for forgiveness, you can give it to them without a weight because it is now healed. It was a theme that was more explored in Gentil Colapso de Órbitas, the main character forgiving the one that hurt her rose. And this rose in the song Sun's Daughter is finally revealed to be actually a representation of her mother. So the rose dying is a representation of her mother's passing. I just wanted to talk about the importance of grief and healing and being able to deal with it in the right way. This song also talks about how her mother was. Her mother died when she was really young, and she became blindfolded by her own pain. She couldn't live normally anymore. I don't think any child would be able to because of her mother's passing. And then the song goes on talking about how it is important for her to remember those moments that she went through, those hard moments that she went through because of her mother's passing back when she was a child, so she can overcome them. But it is a really hard reality for you to face, the fact that you need to remember and you need to face the moments that hurt you so you can heal from them. And the way that I represent this healing from them is by the phrase freely dancing, that represents being free from the pain. That's why it talks a lot about freedom. And her mother used to be able to do this freeing dance before some really hurtful things started to happen to her, and these hurtful things caused by the character that you meet also on the Gentil Colapso de Órbitas music video. All this hurt that was caused by this character led to her death. And she wasn't able to deal with this hurt because she was alone. All the pain that this character caused to her, she had to hide them. Blood stains, all this hurt is represented also by the phrase dream like leaves, which is a reference to the same sentence that I sing in Gentil Colapso de Órbitas. Dream like petals flying through sunlight, running towards a killing star. So this part I'm talking about the pain of her mother, which she had to hide, and that led to her death. Some really harsh, really painful stuff. So her hiding it was also compared to her orbiting the living room like on a theater stage. And what I pictured was her mother was like a professional singer for some kind of theater, and she would practice a lot back in her home, and she would do it so much that she could hide her own sense of identity from herself by interpreting her characters. So it's like hiding her true self what her true reality was behind all those theater masks. The character's son's daughter went through something similar to this, trying to hide her pain, trying to distract herself from her pain and from her past and from her who she truly was, and from the son who was just trying to heal her, who was just trying to help her with all his love. She went through something really similar to that, and for her to not go through that again, for her to move on from that truly, she needed to remember everything that happened. She needed to go back to the past, not to change it, but to change her present perspective towards it. And to do that, she started singing and writing music about everything that happened to her, and then sharing all this music to the world. So by doing that, she can also help other people to learn from what she went through and try to get their own healthy sunlit healing. So that's basically the lyrics and the whole message of the song. And now talking about how I made it, like musically, the acoustic version and the entire lyrics for it, which I wrote on this little notebook that used to be my diary back in 2021. Basically by September 26th, 2021, all the lyrics were finished. And you can see that they were pretty big already. I added some things eventually, but they were done. And then I started writing more music and started leaving this one a bit behind, not really knowing how I would truly make it. And then 2023 came and I started producing music on my own using the BandLab app, which is a really simple to use app to produce and make your own music at home. And I did a really simple, very acoustic version of what you can now listen to. Burn scars between old wrinkles and a cold breeze that dries up her fingers. And then I posted an acoustic cover of it on my Instagram and on YouTube, and a lot of my friends and family really loved it, so I decided that it would be my next single. And then this year came and I started using more this sound production app called Reaper, and using it on my computer, on my desk, my microphone, my guitar, and my keyboard. I made the entire thing in like 3 weeks more or less. I already had the basic done, and so I just needed to add all the other instrumentals. But I'm really proud of it because I was able to do it all on my own, all back in my bedroom, and it's really exciting to me to know that I was able to do it, and that this now opens a huge door for me to just release and make music on my own without this pressure of like, oh, I have to hire a producer, I have to go to a professional studio, I have to do things with a label. Like, no, I can just do it all back in my bedroom, and it is okay. I don't have any of this pressure. I'm just here to make music and tell the story and tell this message to the world, which is so important to me. And so yeah, it's basically like this. I'm really excited about it. I hope you listen a lot to this song. There are a lot of things coming still this year, and everything is connected to the sun. Everything is connected to the son's daughter's story. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time with more music, more covers, more vlogs, and everything in between. Bye bye!